Guys, I think I might actually like The Amazing Digital Circus. Spoilers for the show, by the way. Okay, I'll admit it. I wasn't a huge fan of the first episode. There's just way too many scenes that were just super cringe. The animation was kinda bad, which I get is the point. But the characters were also kinda flat, which I get is the point, but still. And I just wasn't that huge of a fan of the writing overall. But there's just some moments that felt so cringe. And also, there's just tons of parts where it feels like it's trying to be like overly edgy, but it still has to be TV PG to sell toys, but they have to be edgy and cool and make it seem more edgier than it actually is. Like Jack saying, "Ooh, violence." I don't know who talks like that. Also, the thing where it's just like, oh, we can't say curse words because it's censored. I feel like I've seen that in a lot of kids shows because they try to be edgy, and I just don't really like it. You find out later that it's for story reasons, but still at first it made me cringe. But here's the thing, then it started to make me laugh as the series progressed, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The episodes I also feel like were just way too long, and there were so many parts where the story just felt like it was meandering. Also, the episodes just weren't really that interesting, at least at the start. See, throughout the series, many of my criticisms went away, except the fact that the characters basically just tell you how they're feeling, and I guess it's still cringe, but I just don't notice it as much. Also, another criticism I have that I just didn't get over, I found it seriously annoying. This is my main issue with the show. This is the thing I hated. I despised it. But every time something slightly weird happened, the show went oh wow, that sure is weird. I just love it when shows just live in their weirdness, if that makes any sense. You don't have to acknowledge it. The joke is already there. We can see that something weird is happening. You don't have to point it out. I haven't seen a lot of Adventure Time, but that's the first example that comes to mind, is Finn gets in a lot of weird situations, but he never goes, oh wow, that sure is weird. In Smiling Friends, Charlie and Pim are just wow, this sure is weird. There is that one episode in Shamoogleville when Charlie asks to sit out of the adventure because he doesn't feel like it's for him. But that's more just he hates happiness, I guess. That's less saying oh, this is weird. But honestly, that's the main issue I have with the show, as over the course of the show, the writing greatly improves. It tightens, and maybe except for the episode Untitled, it doesn't really feel like it wanders around too much. By the way, in saying this, I just want to clarify, I'm not saying filler in TV shows are bad. I love filler episodes. I actually think this show would have done really well with a couple of filler episodes. But when you're making an episode, it needs to feel focused, you know? Does that make any sense? Stay on subject. Don't randomly start talking about something else. Hazbin Hotel, that's another cringe thing I watched. Maybe I just love cringe. I did only watch the first season of Hazbin Hotel, and to be honest, I kinda liked it. I guess maybe I'm just a fiend for cringiness. Give me some more cringe. But yeah, throughout the show I definitely got used to the cringiness, and I actually found it charming and endearing. Although I don't think the cringiness ever reached the heights of the first episode, which I still find just incredibly cringe. Because once the show just accepted what it is, and that it is a bit wacky and weird, and it starts having fun with itself, and it finds its groove, that's when it becomes a really good show. Unfortunately, as of now, it only has 8 episodes, so if I don't like 2 episodes, that's a lot of the show. So here's the thing about this show, these shows with a huge mystery around it. What is the Amazing Digital Circus? You know, the mystery is normally what keeps you watching the show. But here's the thing, I don't give a shit about the mystery, I just love these characters. I don't know why, I just don't find the mystery particularly interesting. And honestly, I think the show is at its best, and it mostly does this, by the way, 99% of the time. But I think the show is at its best when it's using the mystery to showcase different sides of the characters, or to explore the characters. Like Jax's reaction at the end of episode 7, that was peak writing right there. Episode 7 might honestly be like a top 2 episode of Amazing Digital Circus, just because it shows what the show can do so well. When it's not a character telling you exactly how they feel, or a conversation with a sad character, but then it wraps up within like a 2-minute conversation. I think this show really thrives with its character development. But I think we can analyze how this show has chosen to evolve in showcasing its characters. Like for example, when the alligator gummy thing starts having an existential crisis, and then he gets all sad, but then Pomni is just like, oh yeah, like we all feel like that, and then it's just like, oh okay. There's obviously more to the conversation, and I'm not saying it's a particularly like bad episode. I'm just saying it's not super great writing right there. And you can see that the writers improved their writing in the next episode. You can see a thing where Pomni tries to comfort a goofy character, this time it's Keener. But instead of it just being a small 2-minute conversation, you can see it throughout the episode how they're slowly bonding more and more. And then that conversation goes into the action of them having to walk past like the souls in hell. And now just comparing it to one of the show's main character arcs right now, Jax's feelings of isolation. Sure, he had a cringe like, oh, there's nothing #deep about me. Which, that was okay writing. I don't know, I didn't really like it. But then it goes into a great moment where Jax chooses to stay in the digital circus. And guess what? He didn't do like a 2-minute speech with anyone about like, I guess this is, hopefully they don't, mess that up in the finale. I'm praying they don't, because right now he has a super strong character arc. Like obviously I hope it gets resolved, but I don't want them just talking through their feelings. By the way, Kane's character arc was also really good and pretty intense. Like he just rips the skin off Jax. But overall, I thought his character development was really well done as well. Really, the whole cast has good character development. I really like Ragatha's. I also liked how this show went into a lot of different character dynamics, like Pomni with Jax, and then Pomni went all evil and stuff. Overall, it's a pretty good show, and I'm definitely excited to see the conclusion to it. Anyway, please like and subscribe, comment your thoughts down below on the show, and goodbye. And if you didn't like that video, well, it's news to me that it's news to you.